Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm feeling happy about life.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm feeling pleased with my life decisions.
Yes.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
My name is David Bell.
My name is Tom Ryman.
And I'm Hana Michels.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. And we just watched Soul.
Seoul.
Yes, we did.
Fucking
We just watched
Pixar.
a city in Korea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we did.
Is this heaven?
No.
Is it H-E double hockey sticks?
Hell?
Quiet coyotes. No, it's the great before. This is where new souls get their personalities, quirks, and interests before they go to Earth. Here we are. Don't worry, you can't crush a soul here. That's what life on Earth is for.
Well, this has been out for like a week, right?
Yeah, no, this was supposed to be in theaters, but because the world exploded, it is on Disney Plus. It came out Christmas Day, but we decided to do Wonder Woman last week instead. So now we're doing
Yeah.
this one
Yeah, we're trying to keep up.
because there are no new movies.
Also, Hana, thanks for being on. By the way.
Oh, well, I was just here.
Yeah, we watched it, but you're our guest, and thank you.
Well,
thank you for being our guest.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Sure.
What did you guys think of this movie?
I actually really liked it.
I did too.
Yeah.
I mean, I did the narcissist artist thing that we probably all did with it, which was...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about me.
Yes.
Yeah. It's... Oh, go ahead.
I mean, it's made for creative people. I imagine everyone who has like a creative career that didn't really quite go the way they planned, which is so many of us.
99% of creative people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I was reading about this movie originally, and of course, it obviously became about creative people because the main character is a musician, and it's kind of about having passion for some sort of expression. I was reading the initial concept of the movie. The main character was a scientist.
Oh.
And they decided to change him to a musician because they felt like that was more relatable.
I mean, that is interesting because it does translate. It's not about art.
Right,
It's about purpose.
It's
in
about
life.
purpose and accomplishment. And I could see what that story would be. It would be like a scientist who
Yeah.
never really accomplished anything and is just kind of being a professor or something. And it's like, well, I didn't do the things I wanted to do. But it's like, well,
Right. And
nobody
at the end,
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
At
also-
the end, he goes to the big science thing.
Yeah.
You know.
It also
Yeah.
really speaks to a generational issue, which is all of the measures of adulthood that we were promised are dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, the goalposts have been severely moved over
There's
the
a-
past 25 years.
There's a boomer millennial thing happening in this, right? Or it's there's a character
a
who
little
wants
bit,
to hold
yeah.
on to precious life, and there's a character who doesn't know what they want to do with their life. And it's not necessarily a generational thing, but it
No.
kind of is. It's old. Versus
He
young.
also has that dynamic with his mother.
Yes.
He's like, I want to do this thing that's my passion, and she's like, that's not practical. You need to get a real job. And it's like, well,
Yeah. And then he becomes that.
yeah,
Yeah.
To Tina Fey?
yeah.
That's who that was.
That'll be the note that I can give this movie is that probably shouldn't have had Tina Fey play that character.
Yeah.
Just because, she's for the past couple of shows she's made, she's got hit with some controversy over racially insensitive material, and she spends a good portion of the movie voicing Jamie Foxx's character. Is it a thing? I'll just say this now to get it out of the way. Is it a thing where like Disney animated movies cannot have a black main character unless they spend half the movie in an animal body?
Right, like the Princess and the Frog.
Oh fuck.
Uh-huh. It's even
Yeah.
it's more
fuck.
it's more than half for the Princess and the Frog, but like
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
like it's like they don't
even realize it.
Right, like the only two movies, because like he spends most of the movie as either a soul or a cat. So it's like, I don't know. It's I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. It just seems.
I don't know.
It seems to stick out to me.
Yeah, it's like some supervisor is like, they do a first draft and they're like, I don't know. There's something that needs to. Can we get an animal in there? Can we get them in an animal? And they don't even know why they're doing it.
Can he be black for less of the movie?
Yeah.
But anyway, it's still a very good movie.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a very poignant, sweet movie about some extremely relatable anxiety and feelings of failure that most people probably experience because we're not living up to some imagined level of success that is just that. It's an imagined level.
Yeah.
And it's once you attain those things. I like that they show that like once he gets the thing that he was, reaching for or striving for, it's like, well, you don't feel any different.
Right.
That's the thing. The bar, you keep raising the bar
Yeah.
for yourself. I don't mind saying, like, this is what put me in a fucking hospital. And I was yelling from that hospital bed, I was featured on NPR this morning. Like, the bar just fucking moves.
Exactly. Like you can't, and I'm sure this is the same for in any field, but we're all coming at it from creatives. It's like you don't even give yourself the chance to enjoy a success because then you're like, well, then now I have to achieve the next thing.
Yeah.
You want more.
Yeah.
It's got to be the next thing.
And I love that they covered that.
Yes.
The lost souls. And they did a very, the funny, cynical version where they're like investment bankers and shit.
Or the guy with
and
the
then
metal detector.
Exactly. And they show that when you're in the zone, which is the other section, they're both adjacent to each other. The lost souls and the people who are in the zone, which are, God, I don't know if we need to explain the plot.
We should explain a little bit of it.
Yeah.
It's
But it
real-
is true. One descends into the other because it does. They explained it very well. It
Yeah.
becomes an obsession.
Yeah, and then you lose yourself in it. So this is the makers of Inside Out, right?
Pete Docter, I think he also did. He did a couple of Pixar movies. I think
Yeah.
he did. I think he did Inside Out. I think he did Up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically they're doing what Inside Out did to, obsession and passion and purpose. Like they're giving it like a structural system in this imagined afterlife that's extremely relatable, and it's all just an analogy for what we all go through. And that's the best way to explain this movie, right? It's just Inside Out, but for that.
Kind of, yeah. Inside Out didn't connect with me. Like this is like
Inside
the
Out's
first.
still-
All I was going to say, this is the first Pixar movie I've watched in a while that connected with me. Like I haven't really liked the past several Pixar movies, but this one hit me.
It's very hit or miss,
I mean, this one was for us.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, this was a personal attack.
yeah.
I think.
I
Very
felt attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I told Dave, like, I've been life coaching, like, artists and writers and shit, and I was saying, like, I can see assigning this movie and having a client groan at me, like,
Right.
fuck you, why did you do this?
Why did you do this?
Why are you making me do this?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
It's. My God. I thought going into this, I knew it was about the afterlife, and it was the Inside Out people. And so. The moment you realize what it's actually about, because here's the thing, it's not about death. This
Yeah.
movie is not about death. It's not about the afterlife. It's not about what happens when we die, and that's what I thought it was going to be about. It's like death and loss.
I was
not at all.
surprised at how little time they spend in the afterlife.
Yeah, death is used as like a vessel to get this message across, to get them in him in a cat's body, essentially. And and to get to open up the world of like how the soul works. But so like it was like, okay, this is going to be heavy. It's a Pixar movie about death. And then when you realize what it's actually about, you're like, oh no. Fuck. I was not prepared.
It's about life. Oh no.
Exactly.
It's about life and purpose.
Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me, Pixar? This, you know what? This is one of those Pixar movies though that I do think kids, it's going to be one that kids will be like, it was all right.
Yeah.
And adults are like, it's so good. Because, like, from a kid's movie, it's got, like, cute cat and little pre-souls and, like, cute shit, but the plot is so, like...
Can we talk about Graham Norton as the sign-flipping guy? Holy shit.
Holy shit.
The flipping the sign.
The sign-flipping animation.
It's
just
so
the animation.
good. Yeah, just, that's all it is. It's just strictly a visual gag, but it's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. People should watch this movie before listening to this, probably, right?
Yeah,
because we're gonna skip around.
Yeah, I mean, we do. I don't know why we always say that. Like, people should know by now that we're gonna spoil the movie and jump around.
Isn't that implied for every single? No,
I know. We've gotten a lot of comments of people who are like, "I'm not gonna watch that movie, but I'll listen to the podcast," or like, "Oh, after listening to the podcast, I want to watch this movie." I think there are people who don't watch movies as much as we do.
Well, yeah, but isn't it implied that there will be spoilers?
Yes.
Oh, yes. No, sorry. That's not why I'm saying that. I'm saying because we're going to jump all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be less. It's going to be less.
It's okay. Just real quick. He's a middle-aged music teacher. He's always wanted to be a professional jazz musician. He gets a chance from his former student, who is Questlove, to play.
Did not catch that.
Oh yeah. That's Curly was Questlove. To play at a jazz club that night with a really famous jazz star who is voiced by Angela Bassett, and he dies before it happens. He falls down a manhole.
Yeah, he dies like an asshole.
He dies like a real asshole.
Yeah.
And he in the afterlife he's trying to get out. He ends up getting assigned to this new soul who hasn't been able to have life on Earth because she's just not interested in anything. Like, she's not finding any reason to go to Earth. Right. So they concoct a scheme where he'll be her mentor, so he can essentially steal her Earth pass and go back to Earth. They wind up getting back to Earth too early, and she winds up in his body, and he winds up in the body of this cat. She learns what, like, just the joys of simple living are. Just interacting with people and eating good food and taking a walk on a nice day. And he gets to see his life from outside of his body, and he starts to have like revelations based on that. He gets his body back. She gets sent back. He goes back to find her and give her pass, because he's like, because he learns like the point of life is not, you're not supposed to have a purpose.
Right.
Passion.
Our assigned purposes aren't the things we necessarily do.
And there is no assigned purpose.
Right.
It's, you find passion in the stuff that you like, and you pursue those things, but it's not like nobody is predestined to do anything. Nobody is put on this earth with a purpose. You're just supposed to live.
It's a direction.
Yes.
It's a vague direction. It's the idea that when you're young, you something interests you, you get pointed in a direction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't have anything to do with what you're here to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're here because your parents had some ideas about children.
Yeah, and they fucked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they slapped you out.
Yeah.
Real meaty slapping.
Yeah.
To produce you.
Picture it. Everybody
stop.
Picture
that. Everybody picture your parents just jackhammering away.
Yeah, that's you.
That's you. That's where you came from. But no, the movie is making that same point, only much sweeter and much less good. There's no purpose to life. It's just, you're just supposed to live. So he saves her from being a lost soul and gets her sent to Earth, and he's going to move on into the afterlife, but then the keepers of the afterlife, I guess. They're like, they give him another chance, because they basically say, hey, we are designed to inspire souls, but it's rare that we get inspired by them, and you've done that for us, so go back. And he does.
Yep. That felt like a little cheap. Right at the end.
From what I've read, there were a few different endings.
Yeah, I was expecting... But again, it's not about death, so he doesn't need to accept death at the end, really?
No, yeah, because that's not what it's about.
He didn't have to go to the big incinerator in the sky,
Yeah.
where we blink out into nothingness forever, forever darkness.
It's just the end of Toy Story 3.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I'm okay with the ending, because the other thing was he didn't set out to inspire this soul.
Right. That's also where the generational stuff I got a little suspicious when they first started, like this young person who has no drive or direction.
Yeah.
And then they don't really make it about that either.
No.
And they don't make it about end of life stuff, because this is also not a person at the end of their life.
You can kind of think of it about having kids, but it's about having kids in that you can't really seek to inspire them or teach them what you plan on doing, what you plan on inspiring or teaching. It just happens organically, and you experience life through them.
That is, that is a theme, isn't it? Because he's a teacher.
He's a teacher, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he gets forced to be a teacher in the afterlife. And then he says to this young soul, like, oh, that's not a purpose. When the young soul is like, oh, I'm really good at walking.
Which is what his mother did.
Exactly, yeah. So it is about that. It's about helping to guide younger people find their purpose. It's, again, it's a thing that kids are going to watch and just go right past them.
Yeah.
And the movie's staring directly at their parents.
Yeah.
They're like, don't
in a good way.
fuck it up.
Yeah, in a good way. You know, it's your kid is here to live.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's really it. And that soul, like, we don't find out what her spark is, right?
No.
Or is her spark? Her spark is, like, they say it jazzing, which is
they never really say what it is. It's just he realizes at the end that the spark is not your
right. It doesn't.
It's not
matter.
necessarily your passion or your purpose. It's just you are ready to go live now.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's just she has she's seen things that are interesting to her and stuff she wants to experience more of. So that's
right.
all it is.
She's going to become like a philosophy student. She's going to teach philosophy, probably.
Oh, yeah. Her parents are going to hate her.
Yeah. No, she's going to be... And again, it kind of depends. I mean, the movie doesn't cover this. It kind of depends on where you land on Earth. Because certain places, it's like, no, you got to do like one specific thing.
You can do like 3 things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also wondering, because they show the bit in the what is it, like the Great Before or whatever, when they're developing the personalities for all the new souls,
right?
And I'm like, where are all the murderers coming from?
Yeah,
like what booth do you send them through?
I think they imply it with some of the personalities.
They make a brief right.
Yeah.
They make a brief joke about this person's like, it's like, I'm a dangerous narcissist who'll stop at nothing. They're like, oh, she's gonna be a handful.
Yeah. And, well, they do a good job at that, because they say like, that's Earth's problem, where it's the idea that maybe we are born with certain traits, but it's our lives that ultimately shape who we become, is what they're saying, at least. You know?
Yeah.
They're basically saying evil doesn't exist. It's not... So nobody is born evil. They're born maybe difficult.
Yeah.
But, like, ultimately, it's up for the world to make them who they are. Mm-hmm. So you can tell they probably grappled with that, of, like, how to go about that message.
I think they did it as well as you can in a movie like this.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, they're assigning a base set of traits, and that's it. And that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. I also got to give props to this movie as a movie structurally. The cat stuff did feel like it slowed it down until you realize what, like, the moment they go into the cat, like, there's like, it felt like the first half hour I was like, I'm not sure what the game of the movie's gonna be.
Yeah.
because they keep switching it. I thought, oh, are they going to spend all the time in the afterlife with him trying to teach this soul? So they have to do a lot of setup, but ultimately they pay it off. I really liked, and it serves so many purposes. So the thing we were talking about earlier is the idea that there's this plane of existence where if you're doing something that you're passionate about, like playing an instrument or doing sports, you will occasionally be in the zone. And the zone is this moment where your soul is like, I don't know, transcends your body. Yeah. They do a good joke about the Knicks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pizza Rat made an appearance too.
Pizza Rat,
Of course.
The idea, this main character, so what's her name? 22, I think?
Yeah.
22, yeah.
She's like, I like to fuck them up. Like, it's just like throwing things at the souls, and it shows people in real life losing their composure, concentration, and then she does it to a player for the Knicks, and she's like, I've been doing this for like years now, or something like that.
yeah, I've been messing with this team for years.
Yeah, that was a solid gag.
It like, we've all had that feeling too, like where you write something and it doesn't feel like it came from you. It did, right. But it feels like it just appeared.
Right.
Yeah. Or when you're performing, or there's it's they call it, they refer to it, it's like it's the space between the physical and the spiritual, and that makes a lot of sense. They
set it up as a gag and as a fun idea, and then they show that there's certain people who can be in the soul zone in a meditative sense. They like work meditation into it, and that's when they introduce the sign spinner, is the idea of meditation can be a lot of things. That they become characters who help with the actual, with what's happening. They help them get back to Earth, and they become also the source on Earth because they're meditating to get back. So they introduce this really good plot device, I thought, while explaining everything in a way that we can relate to it. And then they do the where the souls become lost through obsession. So these things drift down, they become obsessed. For being in the zone, and then that happens to 22, and the part that was like fucking brilliant is that the moment where he gets back in his soul, 22 is a lost soul. This is third act, and he has to go help 22, so he sits down at his piano with all the items that 22 has collected from just when 22 was in his body. And since it's they share a brain, he has the memories, and fucking placing those items down and playing for them was an incredible scene.
That's the scene where
that's a crying scene. That's a holy fucking shit.
That got me. Got me. But yes, that
got me.
Just,
and then
just from a screenwriting perspective, it's very.
It got me from a screenwriting perspective too, because it was he's going into the zone to get her. It all tied together.
Dave is sitting there just weeping at how efficient the screenplay is.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, is the emotion getting to you? It's just so efficient.
Yeah, it was. They were using the things they had introduced many times in more ways than I thought they would, and it worked out so well.
Yeah. I mean, that's like I had said that I hadn't really liked too much the past Pixar movies, but in general, they are pretty tightly written.
Yeah, they nail the writing. They nail it. Also, the look of this movie. This movie is visually beautiful.
Yeah, I liked that they had essentially two different scores too.
Yeah. Probably like representing the two different art styles.
They had all the real world is where all the jazz is, and that was done by John Batiste. And then all of the sort of ethereal stuff when they're in the other realms, that's Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor.
For real? Fucking
For
Trent.
real. For real.
Trent blasting all over these movies.
Yeah, there was one cue that started up. I think it's the cue when he first tries to jump down to Earth, and it's like, this might be the most whimsical piece of music Trent Reznor has ever written.
Right. Well, no, what was the movie we just watched that he did the music for?
Mank.
Mank. That's whimsical as all fuck.
Yeah, that's true.
I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also, The only thing that was kind of like for me was that they did the thing that a lot of movies and shows like to do, which is show the beauty of New York by demonstrating how awful it is.
Oh yeah.
Just how untenable it is to live there.
Right.
Oh yeah.
They really sugarcoat subways.
Oh yeah.
They're like, yeah, subways are kind of bad.
Yeah.
But it was
a
good.
stranger yelled
like,
at me, and this is the magic of life. No.
No.
No. Getting yelled at sucks.
Yeah. That
Stop
stranger...
moving here and complaining that you're not struggling anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a terrible city, folks. It's a terrible city.
I get it. You have the city equivalent of Stockholm syndrome. I understand.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry our water isn't conducive to bagels.
Yeah. What, LA?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got no good bagels here.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Don't care.
Oh, you should care. But I get it. New York isn't the only place with good bagels.
No,
like you can go to not New York and have good bagels.
I'm sure you can. But speaking as the resident Jew, I've kind of had my fill.
Sure. Bagels in general?
Just in general.
Yeah.
You're like,
Right.
like I'm all
New
set.
York. And New York.
I'm all
yeah.
set on bagels. And New York.
Tom, what's your bagel stance? What's your status on bagels?
Never been a bagel guy.
What?
Never been a bagel guy.
I'm sorry I did this to us.
I mean, it is just it's round bread. It's hoop bread.
It's like half a loaf of bread baked into a circle.
Yeah, it's a bread donut.
Those things are dense.
Oh yeah, that's the best. Yeah, you have a bagel, that's it for the day.
I mean, they were invented because they were trying to make donuts healthier, I think.
Really?
Which is,
Yeah.
I guess.
Mission failed.
That mission blew up in the hangar.
Yeah.
Anyway, to get back to the movie.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, there's a bagel in the movie.
Is there? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
a piece of a bagel.
Yeah.
He gives a piece of the bagel to the street musician.
Yeah. But it's not unusual, the art style with Pixar, but the environments ultra realistic. Like there's shots in this movie that I'm like, that could just be a live action shot.
Yeah.
The characters are, of course, Pixar, more cartoony, and then you get to the afterlife, and it's more inside outy, but like the use of the lines, the characters that are just squiggles, and like the scene where the accountant who is killing it.
Yeah, that's Rachel House.
Oh, really?
She's in most of Taika Waititi's movies.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I think the only one she's not in is Jojo Rabbit.
Okay, she's killing it.
Yeah, she's great.
And the part where the accountant...
Oh, is she the familiar in... Sorry.
Is she? Tom?
In What We Do in
Familiar?
the Shadows?
In What We Do?
Maybe.
Sorry.
I don't know.
Oh! You mean Jackie from What We Do in the Shadows? No,
Yeah.
that's a different. That's her name is actually Jackie.
No. And
Sorry.
yet, just those scenes
That's okay.
where he's going through the, like...
I can't distinguish between accents. Like, if you have an accent, then you are a person with an accent to me. I also
Really?
didn't recognize Graham Norton, and I've seen him in a lot of things.
I didn't recognize him either, but I wouldn't recognize him because I don't know what his voice sounds like, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I guess it sounds like that.
Kinda. I think he's Scottish or Irish.
Is he
normally.
doing a thing? Is he doing
He's
a
doing.
thing?
He's doing just kind of an
Even-
English voice.
Even Tina Fey didn't sound like Tina Fey or
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx. They all sounded like they were kind of doing a little something.
Yeah.
but I
No,
don't
it's the voice acting in this is generally pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked it. But yeah, the weird brutalist look of that file cabinet area with his little squiggle
Yeah.
fingers going behind the cabinet and up and flipping through. And like they just did I mean, it's fucking Pixar. Of course they did. But watching Pixar just do squiggle lines is so much fucking fun. Mm-hmm. It's just such a beautiful goddamn movie from beginning to end. And
the concepts are cool, like you were saying. The squiggle characters that's a great freaking idea, and
Yeah.
it looks awesome. Yeah,
it utilizes like multiple art styles because it does this thing where like
It's like Chrome Mermaid Matisse.
yeah, I guess.
For the record, I don't know anything about art. I'm probably very wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much either. I'm sure it's like specific. I'm sure they're utilizing like specific art styles, but I guess I'm not sure how to articulate it. Is the way the journey that they do of like they kind of like they take you into this they start you in regular life, and you get kind of the visual style. It's so just real. Again, it could almost be live action.
The environments,
yeah. And then it takes you to this crazy fantasy afterlife, and you think like, oh, I bet this is going to be the movie, right?
Yeah.
And then it takes you back to Earth in that specific moment when 22 is looking at that stupid seed twirling down. They like you remember how beautiful this is, and how it's like they do it visually. Where I need to rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure it's on purpose of like reminding you how fucking beautiful the world is versus the afterlife.
Yeah.
That becomes almost like less inviting, less beautiful. Or it's not afterlife, it's purgatory. Or it's whatever they want to call it. It's not
some sort of ether.
Religion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just visually, I think they do an amazing job.
Yeah, 100%.
They do.
Yeah. God damn this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, we knew we were going to get into it with Pixar, but
Hana, had you seen the trailers for this?
I had not.
I thought that, because we were watching it when he died, you were like, ah, shit.
Yep.
Like, that realization of like,
it was the same with Marina.
This is what they're doing.
Trailers.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Then it turns out not to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't. We've said it before. This movie is very. This is not about death.
No.
Yeah, I don't.
It's about ego death.
Yeah.
Yeah, the death of the self.
Yeah.
100%.
It's definitely, they're juggling so much.
They are, and they do it very seamlessly.
Yeah, which is why
it works out extremely well.
If I had a single criticism of this movie, I think kids aren't going to like it that much.
It's really not for kids. It's maybe for at that point in high school when they're like, you have to plan for college and decide what your major might be, or you have to plan for a job and decide what that might be.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's for stoned college kids.
Yeah.
But like they try, it's sort of that the forever Pixar struggle, I think, is that, like, and they're so good at it because it's still an efficient story and the way they tell it works. But like they start doing cat gags, where as a cat he starts liking being a cat, and they don't really follow through on that.
Yeah.
They just have a couple of quick gags, and you can tell there's like a little bit of like, right, we're a kids movie. We gotta have some fun things for the kids.
Yeah.
But like the kids aren't gonna like 5 minutes of jazz.
No.
Yeah.
Let's be. Yeah.
I don't mind it, but like
I don't mind it, but
when there's emotion behind it, like this movie.
Yeah.
But like,
and that's what
I'm gonna go on the record and say that I'm okay with jazz.
Me too, but I think jazz was the perfect medium to choose because it is about the musician. Jazz is about it's
also it's also about doing your own thing.
Exactly, it's about your own expression. So we don't have to like it or get it, you know?
Right, but it's
not about that.
It's the jazzing. That's the whole point. Is you just got to jazz through life. Or in the Star Wars universe, jizz.
Yeah.
Yes.
You just jizz your way through life.
Yeah.
Just, strolling down the street on an autumn day, just jizzing your way through the city.
Exactly.
that fucking Cantina song's in my head now. Thank you.
Perfect song. It's a 30-second song on a
that
loop.
Starts over, yes.
Yeah. Perfect song.
No notes.
Imagine being booked for that gig.
But yeah, it's the fact that it was a scientist that's wild because jazz, it seems like it was always going to be jazz.
Right, it feels so natural, like it couldn't have been anything but this.
It's called soul, it's about jazz, and then it's the whole moral is fucking you just gotta improvise your way and find the things that make you happy. Fucking great. Can't believe it was ever about a scientist.
I mean, that's how ideas happen. I don't know.
I know.
Yeah.
No, that's the famous one where Bruce Willis, spoilers, Bruce Willis wasn't dead in The Sixth Sense until like the 5th draft. And it's like, what was your movie before that?
Yeah.
That it was just like a kid sees dead people, guy helps him, movie over. No stakes. Like, good God. So yeah, it's funny how how shit like that just like, oh, of course. Of course.
It was always going to be this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how could it not be that?
Well, in the first draft, he was a robot. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tom,
That
you
happens, though. Like, you ever write a joke and then just put it aside, and then, I guess you Dave, don't do stand-up, but Tom, you ever write a joke and then put it aside, and then you make that joke 5 years later into something? Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
And it's usually very different and with much less words.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's always my
Yes.
problem. When I write a joke, it has entirely too many words the first time I write it down. So you can make this joke in 5 words as opposed to
Right.
30.
Yeah, that's why I never got that parrot with Jello Biafra's voice concept down.
Right. There's something there.
There's
a parrot with
something.
Jello Biafra's voice.
There's something, because it should be coming out of a parrot in the first place.
Exactly. Jello Biafra sounds like a parrot.
Yes.
That's really what it comes down to.
I don't have few enough words to say
Dead
that.
Kennedys is the first punk band to be for the lead singer to be a parrot. That's Jello Biafra, absolutely. But yeah, I don't know what to do with that.
No, nothing.
I don't know. He's a parrot that then entered local government. I don't know.
I've been sitting
sure
on it
did.
for 3 years, and I will sit on it for 3 more.
Right.
Like
is
a
why-
parrot sitting on its egg.
Yeah. I mean, this is why we love Twitter, right? We all love Twitter. Everybody loves Twitter, right? We love going on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. It feels good about the world.
Yeah,
The fuck is Bean Dad? I don't know. I don't
don't
need to know at this point.
Nope.
Do you know?
Nope.
I don't
And
know
I
either.
don't care to.
Yeah, we don't have to. It'll be gone by this afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's already gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, this movie's good.
Yeah, this movie is good.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I have some stray thoughts here and there, but this is always the thing we run into with good movies. It's like, well, fucking
What do we say?
good movie.
Yeah, just watch it.
Just watch it. Oh, that's what I wanted to know, Tom.
Yes.
Can you don't have to, but I want to know why you haven't enjoyed recent Pixar.
They just haven't clicked with me. Like, I didn't... Incredibles 2 was disappointing. Inside Out felt too obvious.
Sure.
Like it was like this. I feel like I'm being manipulated watching Inside Out. I don't feel like I'm genuinely experiencing those feelings.
Well,
Right.
is that the thing we were I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but is that the thing we were talking about with, like, we don't know how kids would like this. Maybe those weren't for us.
Yeah. Well, that's Inside Out is definitely about like teaching kids about their emotions.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
very much a childhood movie.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
this, yeah.
And yeah, like I didn't give a shit about Finding Dory, so I didn't watch it. I didn't
Yeah, I
care
never
about
saw that.
Monsters University, so I didn't watch it.
Yeah,
and
I
like
never saw that.
the first half of Up is great, and then I think Up goes incredibly off the rails.
I agree.
Yeah.
Also, those fucking parents don't care that their kid went missing.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Nope.
That's
what's
a
his
movie
name?
mainstay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a whole genre
Yeah.
of movies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So this one felt like the last one that really, really got me was Wall-E.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another like just incredibly efficient, perfect screenplay.
Well,
I think this one is just it's what we're talking about, where it's something that's aimed more specifically at a person like me, but also it goes on this is a fantastical journey that the movie takes us on, but it never felt like it all felt very organic.
well, here's
Yeah.
okay. Here's the thing. I can agree with you on. I liked Inside Out, but I do think Inside Out has this problem, and like I think a lot of Pixar films are short films that are extended. And what I mean is, like, Toy Story 3, for example, the only thing that really mattered was the ending. It was like, holy fuck. And there's a lot of fun in games. So they, like, create a premise, and then it feels like they have basically a joke box where they're like, what can we do? What can we do?
Right.
Here are all the things we can do. And I think Inside Out has that too, where they're like, okay, it's in the emotions, it's in their head. Oh, all right, let's go into other people's brains. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's do that game. Let's really, like, draw it out, when ultimately you could have told that story in like an hour.
Yeah, and that's why the cat jokes fell to the wayside. I'm sure they had a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I'm sure he started to show his butt a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There was one butthole moment.
Yeah.
There was a butthole joke when he had to press the elevator button.
Yeah, and he got a face full of butthole.
Just a steaming eye full of that cat's asshole.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just eye to eye.
I've been staying here for like a week, so that's why that came up.
Yeah, there's going to be
for
cat
me.
butthole.
You're gonna see a gigantic cat butthole. A bizarrely huge cat butthole.
Look, my cat's butthole is famously large.
It's not just large. If it was just large, I could handle it. It's cavernous. It's a void.
Yeah.
You feel like you're going to fall into the void.
Like I said, it's like the underside of a Muppet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like a gateway to Narnia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see my soul in there.
Yeah. I guess what I was getting at is that
Yes.
WALL-E is a good example, and so is Soul. WALL-E is about stuff, but it's more of an adventure. This is this felt like it didn't have a moment where it was like, and then we're going to spend a lot of time just doing the same thing over and over again, or we're going to spend a lot of time with this character going from
it
A to
changes
B.
up a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it is that it's more like there was never a moment where they're like, we need to stretch for time. It felt efficient. It felt like they were telling a full story, and I can see how some of the other Pixars might not do that as well. That said, they're all above average films. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
in terms of writing, so
And in terms of WALL-E, I also feel like that's a movie that you would enjoy more as an adult.
yeah. But that has stuff for kids too.
It
I
definitely
think
has stuff for kids,
Yeah.
but they don't care about the earth, you know? Well,
Right.
they have to now, but
kids are disgusting.
they
Oh,
shouldn't
will.
have
They
to care
will,
about
but
the
yeah,
earth. Yeah.
like little kids. Yeah.
Yeah. They shouldn't have to have that awareness.
Right.
They do now, but
Yeah, I do think there's, I don't know, elements of that. I wonder if it has anything to do with them being bought by Disney. But yeah, now that you mention it, Tom, I never watched Finding Dory. I think I saw Monsters University. I certainly don't remember it if I did.
I don't remember it either.
Yeah, in Toy Story 3, all I remember is the ending. And I guess the incinerator scene.
Yeah, that's kind of the ending. Also, I didn't see Toy Story 4.
There's a Toy Story 4?
I didn't even know. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it came out like last year.
Did they get Tim Allen?
Yeah.
Is this why they're like, okay, Chris Evans? Is that who's doing it? It's Chris Evans, right?
That's
For New
Chris Evans
Buzz?
is gonna. Yeah.
Yeah. Tim Allen was talking about how everybody's triggered, and they were just like, you know what? Let's get a new guy for Buzz.
Yeah.
Toy Story, they need to stop.
That's kind of why I didn't see it. I was like, you guys kind of wrapped this up perfectly in
Yeah,
Toy Story
it's-
3. I don't
it's
need
like,
I don't need the continued adventures of this.
Yeah.
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 Shame.
You could give them, they could, I guess, do other stories with other toys. They could play with that world, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, yeah, they could like,
Or even just that medium, like that kind of vehicle for telling stories about childhood.
yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, why not?
But those specific, no, dump it.
I think most Pixar's are kind of like sci-fi films, in that the more you make, the more you stay in the world, less the world's going to make sense.
Yeah.
And expanding the mythology of the world is like, you start asking questions, right? And of course, that's not what it's about. It's not about the logic of the world.
Yeah.
I don't know if that matters, but Toy Story feels like the one with the most like logistics, because they introduce elements of like, yeah, no, humans don't know, and if they know, they lose their fucking minds.
And that's
And become garbage men.
Exactly. That's how we get garbage men.
And that's why this would be good for kids to see, even if they don't like it, because we all need that realization of adults don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. There's going to be this is one more so than Inside Out, where kids are going to see this with their parents. Hopefully not in theaters, but I'm imagining a theater where they like leave the theater, the kid's like, that's okay. And the parent and the kid's like, what should we do now? And the parent's like, whatever you want. And like long hugs the kid, and the kid's like,
Yeah.
okay. I just want to go to fucking Friendlies, but all right.
Yeah.
Like it's that. It's like, what's wrong with my parents right now?
Yeah.
Why are they acting like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're getting home from the movie. It's like, I'm going to go play Fortnite. And the parents like, and the cat's in the cradle and the soup.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Shit.
I don't think I have any more thoughts.
Me neither.
Yeah.
We're good? We're good?
I think we're fine.
We can close the book on
I think
Soul?
we can close the book on Soul, yeah.
All right.
I'm going to force my dad to watch this because fuck you if I
Yeah.
have to do it.
Oh, yeah. This is something you do to people.
Yeah, this movie,
Yeah,
it's definitely something you do to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You inflict this film on
He
people.
inflicted deliverance. I'm being nice.
That's a hell of a movie to drop on a kid.
Yeah.
Watch Next to Your Father. Yes, that is a hell of a movie.
It would be a hell of a movie to show to a kid and then at the end be like, so think about it. And like walk away. It's like, wait, what? What's the lesson I was supposed to learn?
What am I supposed to take away from this?
Yeah. Oh, also, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Another one that he
great
inflicted
film.
upon me. Great film. Great film.
Weird one to show a kid, though.
Explained afterwards that was his parents.
Ah, Jesus. It's like, thanks.
Be
You could
thankful because we could have been worse.
All right. Yeah, that is a good one to show kids, actually, for that reason of like, this could be what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
I guess.
Your dad
I
could
just
walk in with a gun umbrella and pretend to shoot your mom. That's in that movie, right? The gun umbrella?
No, I think you're thinking of Batman Returns.
I'm pretty sure, folks listening, I haven't seen that movie in a bit, but I'm pretty sure there's a gun umbrella in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
I wasn't paying attention after. It's a lot of screaming.
A lot of screaming. Filmed at Smith College in Northampton, Massachusetts.
Okay. Well, we're done.
Okay.
Yes.
Fine, Tom.
Dave,
Hana,
oh, yeah.
thank
that's
you
right.
so much for being on. Do you
Thank
have
you.
anything you'd like to tell our listeners to plug?
Sure.
You don't have to. I'm just
I
saying.
mean, well,
Where can
okay.
we find you?
Listening
Plug.
to my competent artistic critique, you can tell that I have been coaching writers and it's going very well and I'm very good at it.
I agree.
Actually, it has been going pretty well. You can email Hana Michels LA. That's HANAMICHELS. I know. I didn't do it to myself. LA@gmail.com if you want that in your life. And if you don't want that in your life, I envy you
But it's there.
and your journey. Yes.
It's on the table.
I envy you and your ability to be happy with what you have.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
I also
Yeah, really, we all do.
do comedy shit, I guess.
Yeah. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/gamefully unemployed. You can go there and there's exclusive podcasts, 2 different podcasts a week. Tom and Jeff Watch Batman and Fox Mulder is a Maniac. That's for only $5 a month. You can get access to those 2 podcasts, new ones every week. That's fucking like 8 podcasts a month
Yeah.
for $5. $5 whole
Yeah.
dollars. And then there's other tiers where you can like watch movies with us every Friday night. You can commission your own podcasts. You can do custom We Just Watched episodes.
Sure
There's a
can.
lot there for you.
This is all accurate information.
Yeah.
It's all actionable information.
Yeah.
We also have a store at tpublic.com/store/gamefully unemployed. Where you can get t-shirts, masks, mugs, stickers, posters, all kinds of things. Check that out.
We should do a face mask of my cat's asshole.
Probably.
Yeah.
There's
Definitely.
no reason we shouldn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, human decency.
I can't think of a single reason why we shouldn't do that.
Yeah.